All parties in the matter of Lamica versus Cadet, step forward.
23-year-old Tannyr is suing Charly Cadet for unpaid rent at a subleased apartment.
Okay, Mr. Cadet, we're going to start with you, sir. You had an apartment, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That you had a lease on, that you wanted to sublet.
Precisely.
When did the lease start?
My original lease
Yes.
for the new term, it started in August of 2016.
And it was
A year lease.
you wanted to get out of the lease.
Absolutely.
You go to school, and you wanted out of the lease that you had just signed that was supposed to start in August of 2016. Why did you want out of the lease, and when?
Originally, I signed a lease
I don't care. When did you want out of the lease, and why?
because I planned on moving. It was personal reasons.
Okay. In what month did you want to sublet it?
For the term of the lease, from August through,
The whole lease?
yes,
And you put up an ad on Craigslist?
on Facebook.
Or Facebook. The plaintiff answered that ad, but she said to you, I will take over your lease, but I don't need the lease for the whole year. So far, we're correct?
Yes.
And you said to her, when do you need it? She said, I will take over it now, but I don't want it after May. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you, Mr. Cadet, told her that you would take over the last 3 months.
I did.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
May, June, and July. So she took over your lease and made payments on your lease.
Yeah, we transferred the lease completely at that point. It was
To
under
her?
Yes.
Great. With your agreement to pay the last 3 months because she didn't need the apartment. That was a condition that she put on assuming your lease.
Not paying for the lease, but actually moving into the apartment complex. So the plan was she was moving out, I was moving back in. That's all. For the last 3
Fine.
months, and I'll take over the payments.
Fine. Did you do that?
I did not.
Why?
Because we tried to basically get a solution. We went to the apartment complex on one occasion where they told me I needed to get a guarantor or proof of funds that was 3 times the amount, at which point I didn't have it. Tannyr knew about this.
Don't tell me what she knew.
Okay, well, basically went through the guarantor aspect of things, and they told me that I basically could not move into the apartment because I didn't have the requirements. The main reason of this was because during the course of the year, they changed managements, and so the requirements from when I originally signed the lease was completely different than the new management. So I couldn't use my financial aid awards letter.
You had an agreement with her.
I did.
And your agreement with her was that she would not, in effect, be responsible for the last 3 months' rent. And that was the condition that she put on taking over your lease. When did you see the ad for his apartment?
June 2016.
When had you signed the lease for this apartment?
January.
That's a long time in advance.
Yeah, because I was
Why?
staying there. I just renewed my lease. Yeah.
This is a renewal. Then I found out that I was not going to get an awards letter and I could no longer stay in student housing. That's what you wrote. That's not what I just heard before.
I could not use my financial aid awards letter because the amount on there did not meet the 3
Then
times
I found
thing.
out I was not getting an awards letter, could no longer stay in student housing. But when you made the arrangement with her to be responsible for the last 3 months' rent, that arrangement with her did not stipulate that you would have to have an awards letter.
It didn't stipulate anything, but I think
you have to pay her last 3 months' rent. What's her last 3 months' rent?
$1,233.
Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.